I welcome all of you to our nurse pinning ceremony. We've so been looking forward to today. It's a big day of celebrations. And we start with celebrating you completing our LPN and RN programs. And I know that it's been a very long journey for some of you, maybe 1, 2, 3, or more years, but you've all along kept this goal in your mind and you've reached it. So my colleagues and I congratulate all of you on reaching this milestone today. We'll also take an opportunity to thank the faculty who have helped you guide you along this journey. And the faculty members, my colleagues, are Julianne Murphy, Kendra Noble, Desiree Neal, and Cameron Harris, and most of you here on the side. My name is Naomi DeWinter. I have the privilege of serving as president of Muscatine Community College. So when I congratulate you, I'm also speaking on behalf of my colleagues here, Lori Hogan, Sabrina Shoemaker, many of you know her as your advisor, Carrie Jackson, the Associate Dean of Allied Health, Will Hansen, the Associate Dean of STEM, did I say that title right? Divisional Dean, I'm sorry. Divisional. Yeah. Wherever I said Associate Dean, insert Divisional Dean. Jeremy Pickard, let me take his title, Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs, and Shelley Cram-Rolfe, Dean of Student Development at Muscatine Community College. So I'm speaking on behalf of my whole team here as I stand in front of you. So the other day, I was listening to a story about a person who completed a triathlon of sorts. And the triathlon lasted more than 300 days. It started with him swimming across the channel that connects England and France. And then he started biking through several different countries. And finally, the end was he climbed Mount Everest. And he was being interviewed just after he had climbed up and safely come. It was interesting to note, he mentioned the first few days he hopped on his bike, he had his dog in tow, and like a little thing that you see in the back of the bike, but he was chased so often by other dogs that he thought it was unsafe. So he had the dog taken back home, but he continued on. He is just an average person, not an athlete like one might think, not an Olympian or wanting to be an Olympian. And when he was asked why he decided to do this incredible feat, he said he wanted to show what an average person could do with determination. He said when he wanted to quit, and there were many days that crossed his mind, he thought about his larger goal, his why. And that struck me as a story that many of you could relate to. You're here because you followed why. You had that experience of being students for an extended period of time, probably longer than 300 days. When you wanted to quit, you pushed on. When you doubted yourself, a family member or friend, your personal cheering squad said, you can do it. When you asked yourself how badly you wanted this, you thought about the service and the care that you will be offering to future patients. As I looked at the oath that I know you'll be reciting here shortly, there are a few phrases and words that stood out to me. You will pledge to practice your profession faithfully. You will elevate the standard of your profession. You will set a new standard for nurses to follow the lead that you will do. You will apply loyalty. You will dedicate yourself to devoted service. So nursing is not just a job. It is your calling. And we're so glad that you have chosen to serve our communities in this way. Congratulations.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Sabrina Shoemaker. I am the academic advisor for our nursing programs here, and I've worked with pretty much with every single one of you. There might just be a couple that have come from our staff implementation, but welcome. I've had the pleasure again of working with each and every one of you. I want to thank you all for being here today to recognize our newest MCC graduates of Eastern Iowa Community Colleges, our nursing programs. First, thank you to all the family and friends who have provided support to these outstanding students. I recognize you as you have wiped their tears, seen their distress, and encouraged them every step of the way. During the month of May, nurses everywhere, and of course our amazing future nurses sitting here today, are celebrated and recognized for their outstanding jobs that they do every day. Nursing is one of the most trusted professions as you are dealing with patients who are counting on you to make their lives better, a career choice that I know all of you are taking very seriously. Before long, each of you will be finishing up with your final nursing course and then moving on to take your Iowa Nursing Board exam. I hope that you're feeling very excited and confident in your knowledge as you move into that next step. This is not the end of your learning, this is just the beginning. Thank you all for allowing me to be a part of your journey to your healthcare success. Please know that my door is always open. If you have questions about furthering your education or need assistance with resume developing or job searching. Again, thank you, and I wish you so much happiness and personal fulfillment as you move on to your next step. Each of our cohorts, we have the associate degree nursing, and our practical nursing programs are cohorts through Muscatine Community College. Each program has elected a speaker from their yes, exactly, from your class. I'd like to introduce Amber Davis, and she is here with our associate degree nursing. She'd like to say,
So as she said, my name is Amber. I became the vice president of our student nursing board committee that we started last year. So we got that up and running, and we've got a couple people that are gonna be involved in it next year as well to take that over. But that is how I got here. A little bit about my why. So from a young age, I have always wanted to be a nurse from the time I can remember. When I was about 9 years old, my dad was involved in a bad accident where he was hit by a vehicle and became a paraplegic. I remember visiting in the hospital, all of the tubes, all of the things, but I don't remember the nurses of that age. Over the years, he lived a good life and was able to become as independent as he could with many hospital visits in between. As I got older, caring for him was just the way of life. We did fun things together, and I was able to help him, which he enjoyed. He ended up getting sick from some of the injuries that he had sustained and was in the hospice program, which allowed him to pass peacefully at his home. During that process, I will never forget Nurse Lori, who was there to make him as comfortable as possible. My mom has also had some health conditions that have allowed her to help me understand the differences in individuals with brain injuries and mental health problems. Over the past few years, she's opened my eyes to how truly amazing one is to be themselves. She's never let her disability stop her from doing what is needed to be done. Between her and my mom, her and my grandma, they raised me together to become a strong, hardworking, slightly stubborn, and strong-willed woman. My two sons have also been my why. I started the nursing program originally about 18 years ago when they were both really young. I had dropped out of high school and then had the babies. Went back to college, but it just wasn't the right timing, and I thought maybe someday I could go back again. Well, now I've got one in college and one in high school, and here I am. I wanted to give a special thank you to our administration staff. You guys have helped us tremendously, especially Sabrina. You have guided us and made sure that we've had everything that we've needed. And then, as I mentioned these names, if you guys would stand up for a special thank you, I will start with All of them are amazing. Desiree is not here. Her picture is here. She's here, just a vision. She was one of our first instructors throughout the first semester. She was amazing. She was tough, but understanding. She made sure that we knew what we were doing and that we could come to her with anything that we needed. Julianne, you have been there from the very beginning as well. And have always had your door open to us to be able to come in. To be able to come in and talk with you, whether it's for guidance or clarification or what we need to do. You've always been there for us. Kendra, you have been there as well over the last couple semesters, and you have given us the reason to put our nursing hats on and put our skills to use throughout the Ms. Eva, you came to us in our last semester, but it was a blessing in disguise. You showed us how to be patient, kind, thorough, and understand our skills. Because of you all, we were able to become nurses. And here we are.
From our practical nurse program, I'd like to introduce Allison McMahon.
So it's a privilege to stand here today alongside some of the most determined, compassionate, and resilient people I've ever met. When we started this program, we did not fully know what to expect. We all came from different backgrounds with different stories and different dreams, but we all shared one goal, and that was to become a nurse. Not just to learn the skills, but to learn how to think critically, act compassionately, and care for others in their most vulnerable moments. Along the way, we stayed up late studying, made dozens of flashcards, survived pharmacology, the early morning clinicals, and maybe a few breakdowns. We spent hours practicing a variety of skills, injections, placing catheters, doing blood sugars, that we eventually got to practice in real life. Most importantly, we learned how to be present with our patients. This program didn't just teach us how to become nurses, it transformed us into nurses. Every difficult test, early morning, every clinical challenge made us stronger, sharper, and more capable. I'm grateful for my fellow classmates to be along my side forever. To Desiree and faculty and other instructors, thank you for pushing us, guiding us, and believing in us when we doubted ourselves. You gave us more than lessons. You gave us your experience and your wisdom. You taught us not only the science of nursing, but the heart behind it. You believed in us even on the days we didn't in ourselves. To our families and loved ones, thank you guys for your patience, encouragement, and endless support. Without you, many of us wouldn't be here today. I know my sister woke up every morning at 5 a.m. just to keep me company on the way to clinicals. I appreciate that. To my daughters, thank you guys for all your patience throughout the past semesters. You guys are the reasons that I continue to push myself. Ari used to tell me that I could take breaks to play, and Lonnie would wake up in the middle of the night and come study with me. To my fellow graduates, we made it. We've shared tears, laughter, failures, and victories. We participated in study groups for exams and celebrated every success, big or small, from taking a blood glucose to inserting an IV. But this is just the beginning. Ahead of us are opportunities to grow, to specialize, and to make a real difference in people's lives every single day. Nursing is more than just a career. It's a privilege and a promise to show up, to care deeply, and to never stop learning. Congratulations, you guys.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julianne Murphy, and I'm nursing faculty that had the opportunity to work with our future nurses over the last 1 to 2 years. So I know the joy they must feel as they can go home, not have to worry about juggling their school schedule, their work, family, and social life. I can imagine the excitement the audience feels, family and friends, that our future nurses can enjoy life again after nursing school. Nursing school is a beast. Would you guys describe it as any other way? Although nursing school is a challenge, it's going to be one of the greatest accomplishments of your guys' life. And so that's why we're here today. It's your hard work and determination that brings us here. It's a moment of reflection and of your accomplishments and what to expect for the future. So after working with new graduates for 17 years, you can imagine I have 5 pieces of advice for you. Number 1, always double glove when giving suppositories because you don't want them. You know I'm going with that. 2, treat others how you want to be treated. You don't have to like everybody, but you do have to uphold professionalism and respect with all those you encounter. When anybody treats you otherwise, shower them with kindness because it's the right thing to do. 3rd piece of advice happens to be my favorite quote from Grey's Anatomy. Anybody know what it is? Have nerves of steel. You will find yourself in challenging, unexpected events, but you will have nerves of steel because you have the skills, the knowledge, and experiences that you have acquired over the last few years. So if you find your nerves are uneasy, numb, maybe even paralyzed to a point you don't know what to do, know your resources. In other words, if you need help as a nurse, find that person to help guide you. You're entering a wonderful collaboration in healthcare. Attitude is that 4th piece of advice for you guys. Studies have shown that positive attitude leads to health benefits. But having a positive attitude is going to help you manage those everyday stress that you'll experience as a nurse. So I strongly encourage you guys to have that positive attitude to guide your career. The last piece of advice is journal and reflect upon your experiences as a nurse, because that will help you become the best nurse that you can be. The words can't describe the amount of entertainment that you will get when you read that journal 10 to 20 years later. It is pure entertainment. So today I brought you my journal from when I was a new nurse. I hate to bore you by reading it, but if you've ever been in the workforce, I know that a lot of people will be able to identify with at least one quote in what I'm about to read you. So here we go. The title's great. It says, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life that you have imagined, which is already funny because, the last 20 years didn't go how I imagined it. But the date is 2007, and it says, now I am a nurse. I have more responsibilities than I have ever wanted. Some days I love my job, and others I hate it. I can't describe all the information I'm learning as a new nurse. I choose to start this journal because I'm very disappointed in myself. I gave D5NS 20 to a patient when they were to get D5 half NS of 20 It's a little mistake, and my preceptor laughed at me because it was so minute. And remember, we didn't scan in our IV fluids at that time. So it wasn't a big deal, but it was still, I was furious I made the med error. I go on to talk about other things that I should do better and want to do better. And then I include the positive experiences back in 2007. I'm confident, nice, thankful, willing to learn. I get compliments from my patients, but I have to be a better nurse and continue. So I leave that with you guys to journal your experiences so you can look back on this moment. But back to why we're here today is I want to express gratitude that I feel that you guys have worked so hard and committed to being nurses. Thank you for choosing EICC for your educational goals. Those of you who know me know I have a strong sense of wanting to tell you what you are special. So I have to give you one last exam alert. And you will not find the study guide on campus. You will find the study guide on the NCSBN website. I don't know how many multiple choice questions you'll have, or how many case studies or select all apply questions, but I can tell you you'll have anywhere from 85 to 150 questions. LPNs, you might have closer to 85 to 200. And I can tell you you'll have 5 hours to complete that exam. So I wish you guys well. So now I'd like to move on to a special statement from Desiree. And we did bring her here and start with us, and she couldn't be here today. Here's what Desiree would like to tell you. I am sorry I couldn't be here, but please know how immensely proud I am of each one of you for all that you have accomplished over the years. I've watched you grow from scared students wondering how you're going to survive this program to the strong, confident students you are now. It's truly been an honor to share your journey, and I hope you can continue to do great things in the pursuit of knowledge, integrity, and your own happiness. Congratulations to all of you. I hope to see you out in the community, continuing your great work as full-fledged nurses. So we're now going to move on to why we're here. It's all about the nursing penny. So I want to tell you a little bit about the history of the penny. The significance of the nursing pin is dated back to the 1860s when Florence Nightingale was awarded the Red Cross of St. George for her efforts in service during the Crimean War. To share the honor, she presented a Medal of Excellence to her brightest graduates. And since 1960, the practice of pinning nurses has been a standard time-honored tradition to welcome the amazing nurses into the nursing profession. So the time has come that I'd like to ask the graduates and any nurses in the audience to recite the Nightingale Pledge. I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this society. I pass my entire life here not as sacrifice for pleasure. I will stay for my this take my minister in a harmful job. I will do all my power to maintain everything in this year about the best and will go on. So I will do that. To the team, we can be at home. There's a job and it's not with the word of sea, well, I never behave. And I think of life just almost my best friend there, and it's somebody respectfully kind of overwork her boss, so like, oh. Thank you. We're going to start with the LPN graduates. And once we call your name, when you hear your family, or when you hear your name, your family will then come up and meet you up here so that they can present you with your pen. And we'll do one at a time. And I'd like to ask Eva and Kendra if you want to come up and help announce the names. Right here. Thank you.
So first up, we have Kelsey Hannon. Leslie Garcia Hernandez. Joyce Yelika Bravo. Allison McNabb. Lena Oversee Giants. Natasha Shea.
Take a few pictures on the paper.
Now for ADN graduates. Muriel Alami. Asha Anthony. Alvin Abusi. Francesca Calderon. Mercedes Calderon. Amber Davis. Lindsay Durr. Kylie Eastwood. Emily Gibbs.
Annabelle Grings. Connor and Kayla Hoffmaster. Cassandra Latrell. Stephania Perez Bras. Marissa Petrowski. Kylie Schrader. Aurelie Vasquez.
I'm Lori Haugen, I'm the Associate Dean of Nursing for the ICC. Again, on behalf of all the administrators, faculty, and staff, we want to congratulate you on your nursing graduates who are here today. We know all the hard work and dedication that you have completed through this program. I also want to thank all the family and friends that are here today and have supported you along the way. The support probably showed up in many different ways, such as helping with childcare or transportation, helping to cram for that last exam, or even just to be an ear to listen to when the frustrations of nursing school came out. You are also a part of why we have this wonderful group of graduates. So, yes, thanks. I would just like to tell you, graduates, here now. As you step into this dynamic and ever-changing world of nursing, remember that each of you brings something special to the profession. Your unique skills, knowledge, and personality will help you find the path in nursing that fits you best. No matter where your journey takes you, never underestimate the power of the small, everyday moments that inpatient care. So those are often the ones that will leave you with the biggest influence. You now hold both the responsibility and the privilege of being present during some of the most profound moments in people's lives. The joy of a new birth, the grief of a final goodbye, or the shock of a life-altering diagnosis. The compassion you show through your actions, your words, and your presence can touch lives in ways you may never fully realize. While you undoubtedly make a difference in the lives of others, know that your patients and their families will also leave a lasting mark. This profession will challenge and shape you in ways that are both humbling and inspiring. Today, I am proud to welcome you not as students, but as a fellow professional and a colleague in this world of nursing. Congratulations.